New GDP report has some very ominous, scary stuff in it. And I focus on positive stuff most of the time, but I can't call myself a man of the people if I'm not informing you. This is not fear-mongering. These are facts. And I've got great news. Despite the ominous signs in this report I'm going to share, you can avoid it. Millions won't. You can't. Here we go. The most troubling information in the recent GDP report, for you who didn't pay attention in the 6th or 7th grade, GDP means gross domestic product. In other words, economic output by our workers, our businesses, and it's a real economic indicator. And the recent GDP report showed a huge drop in real disposable income. Now, what do we mean by disposable income? Disposable income is money that you have available to be able to spend on things that aren't necessities. Necessities, as we talk about them here at Ramsey Solutions all the time, are essentially your four walls and things related to those four walls. The four walls being I need food, I need to eat so I can stay alive. I need shelter so that I'm not completely miserable living under a bridge. I've got my utilities, which make the living arrangements bearable and enjoyable and comfortable and safe. And then I need transportation, whatever that looks like. So I have to be able to afford transportation. These are your four basics to function effectively, right? We understand that. So beyond all your basics in your budget, your absolute have-tos, disposable income is I can spend this money on things that I don't need. Okay? That's disposable income. Well, the numbers dropped over $1 trillion in 2022. Now, why is this troubling? Because this is the second largest drop in real disposable income ever. Behind, you can see it there on the screen if you're watching, only 1932, which was the worst year of the Great Depression. Now, this is serious stuff. Not freak out, the sky is falling, pearl clutching emotion, but hey, this is not good. We need to be ready for this. We got ourselves a Category 5 hurricane a-blowing offshore, and it looks like it's coming at us. What should I do? That's the emotional, mature response. So, the simple answer, I love to simplify complexity. Here's the simple response for you. Prepare by having margin. It's very simple. Prepare by establishing financial margin. In other words, stop living paycheck to paycheck. Start reducing your expenses for a season so that you can create margin. Pay off your debt so that you aren't sending money off for past decisions. I'm keeping more. Start saving. This is not difficult stuff. I mean, I feel silly in some ways saying this with such seriousness. But the reality is that this report is a fact. That as we saw inflation skyrocket and wages as a part of it going up, creating a stubborn inflation, wages still at an all-time high, unemployment at an all-time low. But as people are making more money, they are spending more money. So now in America, here's the facts. You can make more money than you've ever been able to make in the history of this country, whether it be through your hourly wage, all-time high. Salaries People are leaving jobs at the clip of almost 4 million a month, 2 years removed, 3 years removed, almost 3 years removed from the start of the pandemic. And they're switching jobs because on average, they're making 12% every time they switch. So people are going out and getting theirs, but they aren't keeping it. So never before have you been able to, even with a side job. I mean, folks, I don't condone this, but we've got millions of Americans that are holding down two full-time jobs even as I speak. I call it professional polygamy. They're cheating on companies, got them some sister companies, not sister wives. You're working full-time remote for 2 different companies and they don't know about it. So I don't condone it, but the bottom line is that the opportunity is there. The opportunity is there for you to make really good money in a job and then knock out another 20, 30 hours a week, making $20 or more per hour for a part-time job. The opportunity is rich. So the warning is millions and millions of Americans aren't keeping more of what they make. And it's going to come back to burn them. So this is alarming. If we were to see a gigantic recession, a mini depression, or a full-blown depression, I'm not saying that we're going to, but these GDP numbers say we got some real problems in America. Credit card debt at an all-time high. We're just spending. Our government, trillions and trillions of dollars in debt, wanting to raise the debt ceiling. That's the current negotiation as I speak today. The Speaker of the House will meet with President Biden, and they're going to start negotiating now to figure out how to raise the debt ceiling. They're not talking about a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. We've lost our collective minds. But for those of you who will hear me say that if this all comes to a really nasty, nasty head, like the Great Depression in 1932, as the economic indicators is saying it could happen, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay if you just have margin, if you pay off your debt, if you save money, if you live like no one else, as my mentor Dave Ramsey says. Later, you can live and give like no one else. And I tell you, people who aren't bothered by inflation, they're irritated by it, but they're not truly, it's not affecting them, are people who are debt-free and have margin. So have some margin so that no matter what happens collectively across the United States, you are okay. So don't freak out, but sit up and pay attention. I'm trying to warn you. Not to freak you out, but so that you're equipped and prepared so that when a big time recession or something even worse happens, you're okay because you have margin.